And welcome back to Twigger Time Podcast. This is David Twigger of Vermilion Events, and we're so excited to have you back to talk special events and beyond. And we are today going to be diving into a realm that I, for the longest time in my career, was a part of, and that's the hotel side of hospitality and special events. As everybody knows, I just spent about 20 or some years in the hotel side of the world, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart and actually has like the pulse of the hospitality industry. So it's something that's going to be really, really exciting. And our guest today has been a vibrant and integral part of the hotel business here in town and other locations, as we will find out. But as always, we need to go ahead and welcome my cohort in crime. Randy, how are you?
I'm wonderful, David. How are you?
I'm great. You did your, look.
I actually get applause this time, not the crickets.
Because you did your timing right.
I waited.
You waited and waited. How are things? We don't see you like that much anymore.
I know. Well, between your travel and my travel, it's been kind of hard to connect.
I have been traveling.
You have, yeah.
It is. It's all good for work, though. I've been to the East Coast several different times doing site inspections. I have to go one more time next week after.
But that's kind of, that's sprouted from work you got here.
Yes.
You're
actually the one big piece of business I'm really excited about because I was not so subtle that I wanted to go on the road with them, and it worked because here I go.
It's like the circus.
Right? Very much the circus. So, but things are good?
Yes,
good?
yes,
You're going to travel, actually?
Yes. In fact, I leave tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, that's great.
To Las Vegas.
Great. But you're already like prepping for the holidays.
I've already got all my lights on the roof staged and ready to go. I've got both Christmas trees up in my house. I haven't decorated them yet.
Were you drinking wine when you were up there?
Duh.
Was it from Mercury Wine?
Of course it was. That happens to be our beverage sponsor of the day, Mercury Wine Geyserville.
So go ahead and talk
Well, as
a
future podcast will show, or this would become a previous
coming up soon.
Yeah. So Brad Beard with Mercury Wine was here. Mm-hmm. Mercury Wine is a small lot producer in Geyserville, California, in the Sonoma Valley, the heart of wine country, and he makes wonderful.
It's going to be an exciting. It's actually 2 episodes because there was so much information talking about wine. It was really exciting. Yeah. So thank you, Brad. Thank you, Mercury Wine. We are cheering right now.
We said, Brad, we have to drink.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's a whole, feel free. So today, as we ignore our guest who spent the time to come in
We can't ignore him.
We can't ignore him.
He's beyond.
So today our guest is Ryan Kirby. He's Director of Sales and Marketing for Caesars Republic Scottsdale. And for those of you who don't know, it's the new property that's opening up right behind Scottsdale Fashion Square that you've seen that construction going on for a while. And the entire city is a buzz because everybody's super excited. I've driven by it many, many times. Ryan's been in the hospitality industry for 17 years, not just here in town, which we'll talk about there. So it's got quite the background on the hotel side, but we're going to kind of jump back and forth of what that means for special events and stuff like that. But say hello, Ryan.
Oh, good morning, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's turn that just a little bit more towards you. Pull it. No, just pull it. No. There you go.
There you go. Speak right into the front.
Yeah. We want to hear that voice.
First timer here.
That's okay.
Okay.
But thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. You guys have no fun here at all.
No, we're not fun at all. Yeah. We're like, here, have some champagne. Here, have some wine. Tell us your deepest, darkest secrets. No, I'm very excited. I've known Ryan, I want to say, I don't forget how long.
At least 10 years. Probably 10 years. Going back to maybe W. Scottsdale days.
I think it was a W. Scottsdale, for sure.
Considering that you're 13.
Which is, I know, we give Ryan a hard time because he looks like he's 12, but now he's 13. So I brother that, which is great. So I know it's great to do that. And we record just down the street from the property. And we've been talking about that. So I want to jump right on in. And I usually have people tell them a little bit about yourself. So let's take that first and tell us a little bit about where you're from originally and where you got started in the hotel hospitality side. Then we'll jump right into the exciting part.
All right. Well, so if anyone is from California, I'm from Santa Barbara, born in Santa Barbara, but raised
rough.
Very, very bougie for sure.
Santa Barbara's still beautiful though.
It is.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Gorgeous. My family actually moved to a little town called Ojai. So anyone in the hospitality world, Ojai Valley.
So basically your life was Easy A.
The Bionic Woman lived there.
Funny enough, that was actually shot 3 houses down from mine, actually.
Seriously?
This little neighborhood called Persimmon Hill. And, oh my God, the actress, I'm blanking her name.
Lindsay.
No, it was not. It's
Emma? Yeah. Oh my God, I'm blanking it now.
It's my favorite movie. I was going to tell everybody, if you don't know, Easy A is one of my favorite. Stanley Tucci and...
I don't know.
Anyways,
And she's local here in Scottsdale too.
she's from here.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyways, go ahead. So, it's adorable. You need to watch that movie.
There's a lot of stuff I need to do.
You need to watch the movie.
I know.
Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, raised in Ojai, California, but I actually shipped off to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. That's actually kind of where hospitality kind of came into play for me. So I went out and
Emma Stone, by the way.
Emma Stone. There we go.
Emma, don't get mad. You know I love you.
Sorry.
I just saw a whole movie with Emma Thompson, and for some reason it kept popping in my head.
And Stanley, don't get mad. I love you.
Oh my God, I love Stanley Tucci. I do too. He's amazing in that movie. He's like just adorable. Anyway, so then you popped over to Hawaii.
Hawaii, 4 years out there in school. And
where Ryan was a leg reader.
Yeah.
No.
You have to tell that story.
We asked Ryan what he did there. He's like, he was a lay greeter. But both Randy and I were like, oh, so you're a leg reader. Like, that's fascinating what they do in Hawaii.
Yeah, tell us more. Whole new thing. Yeah, we're just coming up with all new concepts out there in Hawaii. Yeah.
When you first get to Caesar's Republic, you're going to get your leg read. So you're out in Hawaii.
Yep, out in Hawaii. So I started as a lei greeter, L-E-I, so your floral leis. And so I was the gentleman that if you were on a honeymoon, I would be the first one to approach you and say, welcome to the Royal Hawaiian Hotel, the Pink Palace of the Pacific.
Which it was.
I got
so
very good at
let
it.
me ask you about, because we'll jump right into like questions and stuff. People, when they're in Hawaii, everybody thinks it'd be great to live in Hawaii, but people get island fever. Like, did that happen?
It did for me, yeah.
Okay.
It did. Now, every island's different. So you go to Oahu, it's a big city. I don't think people honestly realize how big of a city that Waikiki is. But it's fantastic. There's lots to do, nightlife, restaurants, everything like that. But then you go to Kauai, obviously very lush, tropical. Yeah. You're waking up at 6 a.m., going to bed at 8 p.m., just life on the beach is great. And then I actually got a chance to work over at Maui in Kanapali at Sheraton Maui Resort and Spa for a couple of years. So, nice. But yeah, it got to a point where I was ready to come back to the mainland. I was ready to go back to California for a little bit, and enjoyed my 6 years out there. It was amazing.
Nice. Well, that's a good amount of time, actually.
Yeah.
Some people go out there and they think it's going to be great, and like, I love the beach and stuff like that, and they make it like a year or two, and they have to come back. Yeah. So 6 years that's a good amount of time, actually, and it's a good little feather in your hospitality cap.
It is.
Actually.
It is.
So, and then you ended up at the W Scottsdale.
W Scottsdale. Before that, it was W Los Angeles. I used to do press junkets out there for that hotel. So I got into very much Hollywood land. So there usually a lot of the press junkets took place in Westwood, right next door to UCLA, which is where this hotel was. So it was a whole wide world of press junkets.
There many times when I lived out there. So
it's a good spot. It's a good spot. And then, got out here to W Scottsdale. A GM called me up and said, do you want to come out to the desert? And I was like, oh, I don't know. This is, I'm enjoying my life here in, Santa Monica. I'm good. I'm a kind of a beach guy. And he's like, no, let me bring you out. So he brought a 25-year-old out to the entertainment district out here in Scottsdale. And the rest was history. I fell in love with the city and been out here ever since for the last 12 years.
Awesome.
Wow.
So now you are at Director of Sales and Marketing. It's a fancy title.
That is a good title.
For a 13-year-old. Of Caesar's Republic Scottsdale. So one is, and maybe I was like incorrect, like is this Caesar's first non-gaming property? Is that correct or no?
It is the first non-gaming property in the United States. We have one in Dubai, but this is really the first launch here of this brand, Republic.
Oh, wow.
So that's the really cool part.
So talk about the property, because I'm going to get into that whole part of being like the first and stuff like that. So tell us the
little bit really.
the
All right.
The spiel.
So high level, this will be a 265 room property. That includes 33 suites here for the Caesar Republic Hotel. So nice boutique size. We will have first our best partner and concept will be Luna, which is orchestrated and run by Giada De Laurentiis. If you have been to her restaurant Giada's in Las Vegas at the Cromwell Hotel, amazing Italian food. She will occupy our 250-seat restaurant on the lobby level floor. So we're very excited to welcome her over here.
It's a good size restaurant.
It's
for
good
a
size.
property.
Yeah, it's good size.
That's going to be popular.
Yeah, it'll be good. Now, if you want to kind of elevate your experience a little bit more, you're going to go up to 7 Bar and Lounge. That will be on our 7th floor. We say we don't know how to name things a little bit around Caesars. So 7th floor, 7 Bar and Lounge. 7 Rewards tier is also the highest for Caesar Rewards members. So it'll kind of ties into play a little bit there.
What level are you and John?
John doesn't share those things with me.
Smart man, John.
It's not in the will. Okay.
He's afraid I'll abuse it.
But just gorgeous, stunning views of Camelback Mountain there from the 7th floor. So, And then event space for corporate events, weddings, you name it. We're going to be obviously trying to dabble in every single market we possibly can. About 20,000 square feet of event space between.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen this property. Where is 20,000 square feet?
So we have.
What's your largest room?
7,000 square foot ballroom.
Okay. That was like 20,000. So that must include like a rooftop.
Yep, the rooftop, Camelback veranda, which is actually above 7. That's where we're going to host a lot of wedding ceremonies, group reception events, and then also Cleopatra pool deck, which is about 6,000 square feet in size.
wow.
So it adds up to 2,000.
Are you going to run into? Well, I'm going to have like 1,000 questions. So we'll wait. We'll go into like the event side in like a minute because like what about? So that's exciting, and it's exciting the fact that you guys are still planning on opening when? Give us the date.
We're still looking at late February 24. So we've got a little less than 90 days. I want to say
my
to get this
goodness.
place open.
And I still haven't been over because I was going to finally come over. And you're like, not yet.
For David to come over, I need this place to be perfect. Okay, I did not want you. We had a very hot July and August out here. I wanted you to enjoy it.
I was like, I'll do a hard hat tour. I don't mind. But no, I appreciate that. But like, everybody's excited. It's exciting. Scottsdale always, has looked at the land of like the resorts and stuff. And I get excited when we have a property. It's not going to be anything like this, but like a property that just is, the location is like,
It's definitely
perfect.
stand out.
Yeah,
But talking about that, because I get really serious now. I ask you prep you is like, are you worried about the balance of being so close to Scottsdale Fashion Square and how high level the property is supposed to be? And that's not a dig at Scottsdale Fashion Square. Yeah. Don't get mad,
Isn't it?
No. Lisa knows I love her. I was just at Wonder Spaces again. I'm like, kidding. I love you guys. But I mean, it's you can get it's kind of like a balance of I'm assuming like room rate will be at a certain level.
It'll be exclusive.
Yep. It'll be
and restricted. It's a line from Auntie May.
It's our favorite movie. Go with it.
To Auntie May.
Yeah. No, great question. I mean, I think that our location obviously is smack dab in the middle of Scottsdale. You really can't get closer to Camelback Road and Scottsdale Road. At the same time, it is nice that we are on the backside of Fashion Square Mall. I feel like then some of the newer restaurants and amazing concepts that have opened up are really kind of more tailored towards that Camelback side, the south side of Fashion Square. So I feel like you are going to be just one block away from, even less than that, from getting into Fashion Square Mall, where you can enjoy the largest shopping mall here in the Southwest. But at the same time, I don't think you'll feel like you're in the hustle and bustle.
Right.
Because you can get in and out really easily to the property. That's why I think it's like brilliant where it's placed, because yes, you are part of all of the buzz of like Old Town and stuff like that. But like you can get in and out. Is it Goldwater?
Goldwater, yep.
Goldwater.
Yep.
On the backside.
Yeah.
Those beautiful
Yeah.
condos are over there and stuff like that. So I think
Yeah.
it was like smart not to put it, like you said, on the other side, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So it's exciting for sure. What's it like being the first non-gaming? Like, are you still having to balance, like, are people going to understand, or some people don't understand that there's not going to be gaming, or?
That, I think, let me ask you, when you hear Caesars, what immediately comes to your head?
Shows. World class.
I'm a little different, as everybody knows.
He's not like the other boys.
I kind of already knew. It's like when I think of Caesars, yes, I'm like, like the gambling and stuff like that, but I kind of knew like this was going to be that. So for me, I think obviously like elevated and but it's going to have a little bit of like energy to it.
Unless anybody from here will know that gambling only happens on the reservations, I would think.
I know, but if you're from the back east, you're like Caesars. Like,
that's true.
I can see some some like thinking, oh great, they're going to walk in and like, where's the gambling?
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll still have that, I think, even, first couple of years, out the gate. I think the last year has been a lot of communication, what this brand is, how it does tie into Caesars Entertainment. And I love the fact that you said, I'm not sure who said actually the word energy. Energy was the energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's what I love.
He abuses that little machine.
I was going to say, I feel like we all need this at happy hour. I think that's the element of Las Vegas we want to pull in, where obviously it's not the gambling, it's not the casino, but it's the energy of the food, it's the energy of the music, it's just that vibe that you get when you first walk into one of their lobbies. That's what we want to bring here to Scottsdale, and just kind of like bring that excitement a little bit more to the city. We have some great opportunities and options already here for hotels, and this I think will just be a nice newer step in a new direction for the city.
Yeah, which I think is great, because trying to build like a giant resort, in the land of like resorts
yeah.
is like, I think you have like another step of like trying to stand out. Whereas like, you're not trying to be like a huge sprawled out, like 700 room resort. You're like a high end.
Plus Caesars has their cachet that they bring with them.
Correct. For sure.
Yeah.
So what's the kind of the vibe and the look of the hotel going to be? Since I haven't been there yet.
I know. Soon, TBD.
Now I want to go too.
Obviously we want to kind of incorporate a little bit more of our Arizona landscape, I think, too. So you're actually going to see these great, actually, snakes that are on our wardrobe closet when you walk into our key guest rooms here for the hotel. Much more darker decor, too, when you walk into the guest rooms, high 12-foot ceilings. And then I think, coming back to more of that energy vibe, that's where I think the gobos, the lighting, the spotlighting you'll find in the lobby space, that's where we want this place to, like, transform at night.
Lighting's important.
Yeah. Lighting's very important.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. Yeah. That's exciting.
I'm excited too.
We're very, very excited.
Yeah.
Let's get this place open already.
Right. Are you already selling? Are you allowed to sell for groups and stuff?
Yep. We have several groups on the books right now for 2024 and 2025. And then our website is going to be launching December 1st. So
we need to talk because I've got groups. Like the one I was in Orlando with. Would like be ideal.
I'm waiting.
Ideal.
I've been waiting for it.
See, if you had the cricket button, you could press that. I've been waiting.
Oh, no, it's that's my bad. So I just got, and actually, like, we'll talk about that actually. So like we're doing, I keep forgetting I have my contacts in. I keep reaching up to like move my glasses and I'm like, I don't have them on.
I just thought it was a nervous tick.
So that's exciting. So has it been, obviously like, I'm curious because is this going to be like a new thing for Caesars? Like I'd like to like open more similar properties.
That's the goal. This is the first launch. When this brand was discussed, with Caesars Entertainment, there were 31 feeder market cities that we identified as places we could build this brand and grow to. So a few that we have been discussing could be Hollywood, Dallas, Texas, South Beach, Miami, Tahoe. There's definitely a lot of opportunities on the horizon right now. So
Tahoe for sure.
Yeah. How was Scottsdale selected? Do you have any insight as to?
A few reasons. One, the convenience to Las Vegas. Obviously, we want to drive Caesar Rewards members. We want them to enjoy, obviously, all of our properties there in Las Vegas. So
it's different, but it's not different as far like jumping all the way to like Florida.
Correct. Yeah. And then I have to shout out to our partners, Mesa Ridge, who own Fashion Square Mall. So we sit on their land there, and we, likely could not have gotten this deal done without them. So they were a huge component here for the hotel.
There you go.
Thank you to our partners at Mesa Ridge.
That's awesome, actually. So let's get into some of my corny questions that we love to do as well, because we always come back to special events and stuff. So we always ask my number one question to get back into the special event areas, like define special events. So when someone says special events to you, and I love this being on the hotel side, like what comes to mind?
Yeah. The first word that I think about is just memorable, right? Something that just stays with you for years and years and years. And then I also think too, special events is where you have all these cylinders firing in the right direction. And that's the food, the music, the cocktail mixology, the entertainment. And then I always come up with like the fifth variable, the flair, that one that just kind of takes it, above and beyond a little bit. Those are my 5 variables that I love to see there with special events. And they really can be anywhere. I've seen the most, open concepts for event venues, turn into just these magnificent galas. A big one that I always remember was there's this hotel, the Line DC, in Morgantown, in the outskirts of DC, but it was an old converted church. So everything they did was kind of a nod to the existing church. It's a beautiful luxury hotel, but you have the original keys actually that used to open the doors to the church.
No kidding.
The original pews that are in the restaurant or in the event space, like little stuff like that. Just I'm definitely a big history guy, so something like that always kind of like was holding true to me a little bit.
What I noticed is you talking about like the 5 variables and things like that. That's a hotel background. You can tell. That's like this, like the training of like it's in, ingrained, and like we talk about different ways of like training and growing and doing things in hotels is like it's very like structured and stuff. I love that because I missed it because I spent so many years in that. What makes events at hotels so special?
I was thinking about this. I feel like in our day-to-day lives, we have our laptops and our phones. And I feel like this was always, the hotels give you that opportunity to kind of remove yourself from your daily life, you know, traveling, checking into your hotel room, dropping off your bags, getting ready, putting on your outfit. And then we have an event, let's just say at Camelback Veranda overlooking the mountains. So it just allows you time to, I think, escape from our daily routines of life and truly be connected with not only the event, but the people that you're with there at the event. I feel that's where hotels have an edge up to just kind of a standalone event space.
That's true. So a hotel of this level, it generates, like your word that you guys used earlier, energy. So what kind of energy and excitement does that bring to the community as a whole?
Yeah.
Can you...
I'm hoping you've been embraced and everybody's very excited.
Yes,
I would think so.
Yeah, it's been a warm welcome to the city of Scottsdale.
Cool.
I think, you know, and this is kind of a nod to the city. I feel like city of Scottsdale, we have so many options that work for so many different clientele as well, right? You know, we might not always be the best fit for everybody, right? We like to think so, but you know, they might also love to enjoy an amazing resort with an incredible spa and golf. But when they come to us and say we want that downtown vibe, we want that energy of that city, that's where I hope that Caesars Republic, Scottsdale, will be a good fit there for them.
Well, Scottsdale does an amazing job because they understand hospitality. They understand how important it is. And of course, you know, the ladies over at Experience Scottsdale are amazing, and that helps sell the whole thing. So I'm sure they've hopefully behind you and supporting and everything else. It is because it's a special thing, actually, for sure. Oh, that's a good question. I'm look at it.
Get it right.
Talk amongst yourselves. How does it feel stepping into the Scottsdale resort pool with a new property? And when I say that is because, you know, Scottsdale, if you're going into another city that may not, you know, have as many options, like you just said, as Scottsdale does, stepping into this has got to be a little daunting at times to make sure, you know, do we have the right product? Are we in the right spot? Are we doing this the whole way and things like that? So that's got to be a big thing.
Have you been received well?
Oh, yeah, we've been very received well. But I think it's always a little nerve-wracking, right, for any new concept. I mean, it's essentially building an entirely new business, a concept that no one knows about.
Right.
You know, and that's where, you know, my job and my team, that's where we come in to really make sure that communication is out there, to make sure that they understand the product first and foremost, they understand the brand. Because to your point, you've got amazing options out here in Scottsdale, and we're essentially the new kid on the block. We think that we're going to have a lot of fun toys and a lot of great features that everyone will enjoy once they get there. That's always a little bit more nerve-wracking for sure, starting any new business.
So let's jump back into your hotel world. And this is always all done with respect and stuff. Do you think there are sometimes some properties that get nervous when a new hotel starts to open up in Scottsdale?
100%.
Attaboy. You know, and actually it's a good thing. I know when I was on an opening team here for Monte Lucia, it was nobody really understood, I don't get it. Then you look at it and people are like, oh. Yeah. So I think it's the same thing. I think it's an energy and an excitement. But I mean, if I was at another property, I'd be like, oh, you know, there's the new Caesars Republic. What is this?
Yeah. I think every hotelier is okay, we got to adjust our budget. Let's go ahead and, you know, take a look at RevPAR index here for next year. We got them coming.
Well, because you're not just jumping in the giant pool of Scottsdale. You're kind of you are stepping right into the hot spot.
Yeah.
You know, jump in there is north of Scottsdale with the big giant spread out resorts with water parks and things like that. But you're the hot spot. Yeah. You found this little spot in the middle where
it's
everybody
kind of
wants
first,
to be.
Isn't it?
It's no. There's. I'm going to say it's the first of its kind. Correct?
Yeah.
I can't say, you guys can say. Right,
we don't want to. But to me, it is the first of its kind because we have some smaller resorts. I consider the Scott and Scottsdale Plaza
a baby resort.
Those are still resorts.
Yeah.
Towards a little bit more spread out. And you've got one of them has golf and one of them, you know, all the things like that. So I think this is a downtown vibe hotel, which I don't know if we have another downtown vibe hotel, which I can see one hotel being mad that I said that, but I don't mean it in a bad way.
Big boys don't cry.
Big boys don't cry. So yeah, it's got to be a thing for sure. I think you've already done this. Let's talk about the property. So give us 3 of the most exciting items about the new property. Obviously, is it the Camelback veranda you're calling it?
Camelback, that is definitely one of the big ones. I will say, I will come back to that. I come back to location for us a lot. Usually when someone says, what's my 3 biggest advantages here, location is so key. I mean, you will not need a car when you're here on property. Yeah. You can walk to Fashion Square. You can walk to not just restaurants in general, but, a shout out to Ocean 44, Toca Madera, Nobu Scottsdale, Maple and Ash. I mean, these are all within 2 blocks away from
they're right close.
Our property. So
it's all right there. And you can also walk down, Fifth Avenue has all of the art galleries, and then you do have Old Town, which has the history about it. The redone Center for the Arts, that whole, the grounds out there are amazing. It's so close.
They can come watch us do a podcast. We're right here.
They can. We can be walking by.
You guys are such ambassadors for Scottsdale, I gotta say. It's so good. Yeah, I gotta put you on the payroll.
Well, I keep telling the CVBs, both Visit Phoenix and Experience Scottsdale, it's if you all just, I love this town. I love everything about the hospitality industry. So I'm happy to talk about it. I'll update anything. So that's great. I love that. The restaurant's got to be super exciting.
Yeah. So location, and then Giada she's a powerhouse. I'm amazed by this woman.
She's a little teeny thing.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
But she's so sweet.
She's so sweet. Obviously has done an amazing job. She now has her spin-off companies right now. She was on the Food Network. A lot of people here in Scottsdale have her cookbook. So when I do mention that restaurant concept, I think everyone is very, very excited. And she's going to be on property too many times during the year. So kind of take a look at different giveaways that we'll probably have on social media for Caesar Republic. Invite only events with certain partners.
There you go. Just making sure. That's also a bigger pool to step into is restaurants in Scottsdale for her. So that, I think that's an excellent idea, an exciting point to have with the property, because if it could have been we just have it's our hotel restaurant, I'm sure it would have been great, but with Giada's, that's awesome because the restaurant market is probably the one other thing that's completely flooded in Scottsdale with item options, which is great. That's where we live it all.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Is there any parking? Is there parking at the hotel?
There is. We're going to use
for us locals.
We will actually have validation. So if you ever do want to come over to Luna and go dine there at the restaurant, we'll take care of your parking there for you. And same thing for 7 Bar and Lounge. I think that's probably the third one was 7 Bar and Lounge is really, it is this elevated sports bar and lounge that has a 13.5-foot video wall. And that's kind of the one element of gaming we will have. So if you are a Caesar Sportsbook member, you can certainly go ahead and go on your app, place a bet here to one of the many games that we're going to have playing there in that space, or we'll have a tablet there for you if you do want to play a bet.
Look at you working it in.
I try. I see.
I was waiting. Maybe. Okay, that one doesn't have anything on there. I knew it'd be worked in somehow. It just makes sense. Yeah. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's another area and level to work on, which is exciting, actually. What else? What is the secret to keeping your guests coming back to Caesars? What do you think that is? Because we know, Randy, you're actually...
I'm going there tomorrow to
Caesar's
Las Vegas. I can tell you in a nutshell what we keep going back for.
So I'd love to... So Randy came first, and then, what is it?
The level of customer attention there is incomparable. I mean, we have stayed at other luxury properties in Las Vegas and other luxury properties around the world, and the level of courtesy and just genuine friendliness, and it doesn't come off as phony or hokey. It is genuinely, you feel special there, and to me, that sums up what makes Caesar's property so special.
That is a really good answer.
Oh. I love that. You call for room service. I don't care what venue or what aspect of service you're requiring at Caesars. You're always treated with courtesy and very respectfully and genuinely friendly.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell because you can sense the authentic nature
you
of
really do.
Yeah. I don't think that there is a perfect recipe. I think that post-pandemic, I feel like, and I always tell my team this, do the small things perfectly. I talked to...
Thank you. We're going to do really loud.
You know, I in our world, I mean, it's just getting someone to even pick up the phone nowadays, you know, sometimes where we just need a response back. And I mean, it's one thing to not only have that response and feel heard as a guest, but, you know, also communication and the follow-up. I mean, these are not, you know, groundbreaking, you know, things that I'm talking about here.
It's old school. That's like with the training that I was talking about earlier, when you said, like, you know, the 5 variables and things like that. That's old school training. And I think some people forgot that coming back from the pandemic because they were so worried of financial matters that the focus was, we have to get back, we have to get revenue, I have to get revenue back in. And rates shot up, and they kept like what was offering, you know,
they really
and
did.
stuff like that, like at a level like, oh, well, we don't have to do housekeeping all the time because people are used to it. We're still going to charge you for this whole thing. And it was disappointing from somebody who's been in that whole side of it for a while to stand back and watch what's going on. Cause I was placing programs, and it was like pulling teeth, and like, I'm glad to hear you say that, because it's just the basics.
It really is.
Traveling around, like I've traveled more like the last couple of months than I have in a while for work. And, you know, when I walk into a hotel, like I walk into a hotel with an eye that's used to walking in hotels. Like I understand like different levels, and like, you know, that front desk agent is a front desk agent, and, you know, you can't have high expectations that are off and everything like that. But like the guy who checked me into the hotel in Charlotte it was super quick. It wasn't anything super fancy, but like I've written like 3 different emails and 1 letter, like telling like everybody in the hotel, like Hector was amazing at this hotel, just because he deserves it. Like I felt comfortable. Like I had a horrible flight, and I was like, and I just felt comfortable. Like tiny. It was a smile and like a thank you.
It makes all the difference.
Whatever.
And
easy.
I'll tell you what, it probably made his month at that point in time, just getting 1 comment back from a guest. And because, you know,
that's true.
It is, if you ever do have that moment where it's just someone goes above and beyond, I mean, that just 5 minutes to write a review, not just for the hotel, but just for the person, the associate.
If you can mention it, because like, and I'm horrible at names. Like I barely remember Randy's name. That's why I give him a name tag.
God. I'm like looking.
But it is, and like it's the simplest thing to do, and people always think that the only time they should say something is something bad goes happen. I'm like, no, if something good happened, it was just simple, you know.
Yeah.
So that's great. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So let's say I've been on the opening side for hotels and stuff like that. So it's all that work up and all that buzz and exciting. Like then you're open, and what?
Then we got to perform, right?
That's
where owners are like, okay, let's make some money here, guys.
Right?
Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for any new property too, you have to have some type of humility. I think this is like maybe true in like any business. You know, you have to have a little bit of humility. You're going to learn a lot of lessons. You're going to make a lot of decisions that probably, you know, a couple of years later, like, okay, you know what, we could have adjusted our strategy a little bit more there when it came to that. So I think that as long as you're open-minded and always willing to adjust your strategy, I think for any opening, it could be honestly week to week, saying, okay, that didn't work. We're going to pivot. We're going to do pivot. That. Oh, friends. Yeah.
A little calm thing from Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's super smart. Because it's got to be. I'm curious of like, are they pulling all Caesars people in for this hotel? Are they pulling local people in for this hotel? Because when you sit down and go like, how do you sit there and do? It's always been interesting to me when I was opening hotels. You know, how do you set up your goals for sales, catering? You know, even like the restaurant, things like that. It's like, is it kind of like a crapshoot? Get it? Caesar. Hey. Or like, you know, was there a lot of work beforehand of trying to figure out those numbers?
Yeah. I mean, we have a baseline, and we have a lot of great reporting, like from the city of Scottsdale. You know, I usually get the question of where are your customers going to be coming from, right? You know, and we use a lot of the surveys that Experience Scottsdale and the city pull in, you know, so I always say, obviously, California is huge, Texas, Dallas, Austin, Chicago, Minnesota, obviously great states in New York, Minnesota. Do we have Minnesota?
His partner's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I went 3 times in the last 5 months to Minnesota. I'm a huge fan of Minnesota.
Were you there? Wait. Yeah, you were there. Did I say you were there for
Connect?
Connect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that in Minneapolis?
Yes.
Minneapolis is a
That's the
charming
one where
city,
I found the Mary Tyler Moore statue.
Oh, that's
so
right. He kept trying to shake her hand and she wouldn't move.
David, stop.
Minneapolis is great, actually. It was a fun city.
It is a nice city.
Okay, so yeah, like the feeder. What I love is like when we sit down to go those reports, and like Scottsdale shows who the biggest feeder city for Scottsdale is. What is it? Here's our trivia.
Oh my gosh!
Do you know what it is?
I should know this.
Is it the mall?
It's not a city, but
what did you say?
I feel like it's. Is it not local first? Actually,
And that's why I've been like, here, I'll go to my soapbox. I have to do at least once every episode. Is like, I was big for Experience Scottsdale and Visit Phoenix to like, you need to talk to your local planners a lot more. Because yes, we like pull in, like you look at like feeder cities, like yes, it is Chicago. Yes, it is California. There's some Texas and Minnesota and things like that. So, but like you look at those numbers and a huge amount of it is local. Local people are going to stay. Local planners are going to book because they know like somebody's coming in. The first call I get is like, you know, I'm bringing a group in. Where should I go? And like, okay, that's the whole thing. So yeah, it is local. It's amazing.
Yep.
So.
Yep. It's a lot. Absolutely a lot.
So now you know where your guests are coming from. That's
Absolutely.
great. Should be easy for you, right?
So when you see us, don't run and hide.
Yeah. Show us a good time.
But, how big's your team going to be? Or how big is your team?
Right now, so it has been just, for the past year, it's been the general manager and myself. So we've been 100% of the Republic
You actually
brand.
booked those groups that you have on books for 24, 25?
I think most of them, yeah. Yeah.
Look at you go.
I know.
Right.
I still sell every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, still got it. But no, now our team is growing. So I think we're now at, I'm not going to do easy math here. It's probably like 6 or 7 at this point in time.
Okay.
But we'll have hopefully eventually around 150 plus employees once we open the hotel. So in January, that's when we're going to do our big hiring event. So chefs, cooks, front desk agents, bartenders, servers, you name it. We're going to try to get it.
And that's where, you know, like it snowballs, you know, because a hotel opening. So you're going to pull all the people from different places, which then, you know, they have to pull from other hotels. It's like this big, like, domino effect kind of thing.
Well, you
It's
meet
interesting
anybody
to
in
see.
the hospitality industry. It's in restaurants or anything, and you see them all around town because they
They
go
move
from
around.
location to
Yeah.
location.
And you can. It's actually it's not as frowned upon as like some other industries. I think you have to have, you know, if you look at it like, you know, is it 6 months, like boom, but like a year or two when you're first in the hotel industry, which is great. We can talk to this. It's okay. Like I was at this property, and everybody likes to move up. They want to be like high level. They want to be luxury. They want to be resorts and stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with like limited service. There's nothing wrong with small boutique hotels and things like that. So.
Will your role change once it's open? Will you be moving on, or are you planning on staying here?
Scottsdale, that's a really good question.
Oh, wow. Ding dong, darling. Ding dong.
I will always be here in Scottsdale. I love Scottsdale. This is home for sure. And I'll definitely be running this property. My hope, and I would love to do it, is that as we have more properties come on board, is to help and guide them to, you know, kind of showcase our successes and opportunities as they launch new Republic hotels in other feeder market cities. That's where I would love to go to.
Oh.
Sure.
As far as like task force, or just like bringing them in to see like how like the property runs?
So it'd be hiring someone like myself, you know, in a Dallas, Texas market, you know, and then guiding them from Scottsdale and obviously visiting the property many times and saying, hey, here's what we went through here in Scottsdale. I want to make sure, I want to make sure that you perfect this opening as best as we can. And that would be my ultimate goal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you have any questions? I used to do this and I didn't put it on the questionnaire this time. Do you have any questions for myself or even Randy?
Oh, Lord. I answer honestly. That's a scary
I used to do that. That was actually really fun because Lisa Foster had like a really good question, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So did Tamara. Tamara had her baby. She had her baby.
Oh,
Yay,
boy or girl.
Tamara, we love you. We're thinking about you. Tamara showed her from Epic Party Event.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
What'd she have?
She had a baby. She didn't tell me. I don't know. I just heard she had it. Yes.
I thought she had a puppy. I mean,
So
really?
no,
A little boy, little girl?
Lila
you don't
didn't
know?
tell me. Lila, it's your fault. Because Lila listens. So
Lila?
Anyways.
Okay.
So what would your question be?
Okay, I'll start with you, David. I think, all right, so
Make it good.
as the expert in event planning, what is something that hotels can do better?
Oh, boy.
And this could be anything. This could be the sourcing.
Do you want your soapbox?
This could be
Do you
a
want
double
your
episode.
soapbox?
Double episode now. Double episode
This
now.
could be sourcing. This could be the planning side, or it could be on site in the moment during the event side.
Most of the time for hotels, and you know, I speak freely because look, it's called Twigger Time. So I do that most of the time on site. You know, 98% of the hotels are great and wonderful. The process of booking events, whether it's like, if you want to call it a special event, whether it's like a local, annual, huge, you know, employee event, or if I've got like a 3-day program or something like that. I need to word this better.
He has. Use your words.
I was like, restate the question. Ask the question one more time.
In your experience, whether it comes from sourcing on site for the event, what is something that maybe hotels can improve upon?
The polite answer would be, I think, just
You're impossible.
would be, I think from like the sourcing point of view is really like having a little bit more specific information for planners. Because we all know that when like, like the capacity charts and the diagrams, stuff like that go out there, like we all know that that's, okay, you can fit 200 people in this room. Can you really fit 200 people in the room? Probably not. And we have to go back and relook at that. We understand that's the case. It's not a big deal. So it helps us sometimes of like, sure, we can fit that many people in that room. So it makes it easier for that place. I think, and I'm always this way because I am the voice of like the little guy, is like, I think hotels need to do a much better job of respecting planners because they don't. And there's different levels and different types of planners. I'm a planner, like a lot of my clients sign their own contracts, but I'm the one who actually sources. So like they go to me like, we need a meeting in this hotel, or we need a meeting in like this town. And for me, like I go out, I do the research, and like what I put in front of them is like what I research. And if I'm going to go to like a different hotel type or a different hotel brand, it's going to be one that actually works with me. And so even though I don't sign that contract, hotels don't understand that. And like planners just get ignored. Like it's not a big deal. Like you're not signing that contract. When the thank you letter goes out, it goes out to the wrong person. When they turn around and they're like, okay, we're going to invite you to IMEX, or you're going to be a partner of this. It's the contact for the group or the company. But they're not the ones that brought the business. The planners are. And I think hotels kind of lost sight of that because there were so many changes when it happened. So I think they just need to remember that planners out there are like a big piece of it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But maybe a follow-up question. Do you feel like that is something that came to light post-pandemic, or is that something that you've always seen probably in the industry prior to?
I think for some reason the pandemic like just energized it. Everybody had money, and 2019 was like a ballistic year. Everybody had money and everybody was like doing great business. I think what happened commission-wise with a certain hotel company, and everybody followed suit, just started like the path down the hill of like, we can do this. Whenever there are issues in the country, whether it be economic or within the industry, it's harder for people to understand that planners are still like they took everything inside. Okay, we had somebody like we work with who does our meetings and events. Like we're not doing so many, we're going to pull that inside. We don't need you anymore. And I think hotels, for some reason, got caught onto that and realized, okay, well, we can just deal with everybody directly. And it kind of made like a difference and stuff like that. But as far, it's disappointing because I'm a member of like the Association of Independent Meeting Planners, and like there's thousands of us as part of this group. And we talk constantly the fact of like, because we are not part of a Helms Briscoe or a Prestige or, Conference Direct, which are amazing. I love them all. That we just kind of get like put off to the side. Oh, you're just like one off kind of thing like that. But like pre-pandemic, I was booking like 15,000 room nights a year. Wow. A lot of it was in town. Did I ever once get asked to be like a hosted buyer at IMEX from anybody? No. Did I ever once get like a thank you email? No. It's kind of sad. And it just kind of kept going like from the pandemic. Like we don't have to do all things. So that's my little soapbox thing. It's like just we're the ones who actually bring the business in. Even though I don't sign that contract, I'm the one who's like, you should go here. Yeah. My biggest group 3 years in a row have signed contracts sight unseen because I'm the one who did the research talking like, this is where we should go. Yep. And like, okay, they sign it. And it's like, well, like every once in a while, like, hey, thanks, David, for bringing us this business. It's not that big of a deal. I think
right.
So,
but yeah, that's the courtesy again.
It's just small little things.
And it makes a difference.
But the other two, like the easier point of that was just, I think the process of like sourcing and information could be a little bit more specific. Mm-hmm. Just easier to get to. Yep. Some hotels like I have to go through, like they don't want you. It's that whole mentality of like they don't want you to go to the website and get the information you want. They want you to contact somebody. But because of all the changes that were done in sales, like I don't know who to contact. Is it like an on-site person, or because I'm here, is like a regional person? Is it like I have to contact like an association person? It's like it's a little bit convoluted of how to do that, and just make it easier for us to find how to send you business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, great answer.
That was very insightful. But, who would know that besides somebody in your realm of profession? I mean, seriously. Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's also, it's not like all negative. Like I love going to a hotel because some people think like, because it's so expensive and you can't bring in, like, I know somebody who's like, does catering, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I would much rather have all of my pieces at, a hotel.
Have them handle it. Yeah.
Independent venues, I love because they're out there, and I know somebody who's listening because she does all the time. I still love you, dear. Are great because they're set up in a way that like makes it easier. But if you go to a hotel, like you don't have to worry. Like I tell people, like if you go here, like if we're going to go to Caesars Republic Scottsdale, it's peace of mind. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about the next steps. We have to do some negotiating for contracts and things like that, and nutrition, and the food and beverage menus and. But it's in-house. I mean, what's your resort fee going to be, Ryan?
It will be $45 a night. I know.
And how much is coffee?
Coffee is included.
No, but I mean for a group.
Oh, for your group. We are at $115 a gallon.
Okay. So when you have all of that, which is great.
Did I mention champagne upon arrival, though?
Right,
okay, there you go. So, how can we can just fill her up again? Yeah.
You just earned yourself my business.
But no, like, you get peace of mind. You don't have to worry about all of the rest of it. That's why I said, like, it almost every single time, like I get on site to a property such as Caesars Republic, Scottsdale. It's just amazing. It's like, because you don't have to worry about anything else. Is this going to happen? Yes. Are we short something? Can you get it? Yes. It's always going to be like a yes. Yep. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. So that's why I think it's great. Yeah. So. Okay. We have to end like on a funner, happier note. Do you have a question for Randy?
Oh, I know. I do want to. I'm always curious.
Lord, I'm nervous.
Okay, you asked me about memorable events, or
is it about bald men?
Oh gosh.
No. You should.
You shouldn't be nervous about that. We don't get into any trouble.
Yeah. Gosh. Right. Sorry, this is not.
You don't have to ask me a question just because he set you up.
Well, I just don't. I want to make it a fun question, but since we're talking about events and hotels, so what's you have to tell me what is the most memorable experience? It doesn't even necessarily have to be a hotel. It could be just like this bartender here in Hawaii was.
He knows every bartender in town.
Yeah, I do. And, and he's not exaggerating. I do know pretty much every bartender in town.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And there's something really special and charming about bartenders in general, if they're good at what they do, because you always feel like family. And
I think it's just not to jump in.
No, go ahead.
But I think it's the recognition. Even if it's, I hate to say that, like, it can't be like fake kind of thing of like, oh, hi, how are you again? You might not remember like the person's name.
Right.
Unless they're in front of you like 5 times a week.
It's like the gesture.
With a name tag.
It's the gesture, though. Like, that quaint little phrase. It's a gesture of courtesy. And I try to remember all the bartenders.
You do?
I do.
Well, they're all on your phone. That's a treasure trove. That's a treasure trove.
That's the hidden album that we have on our iPhones.
But it all goes back to feeling like you belong somewhere or feeling welcomed somewhere. And bartenders in general, it was a bartender-specific question. I'm not just going to say, okay.
He normally does.
Like, I'm not like deviating. But in general, I would say, and the Phoenix Scottsdale area, because the competition's so fierce, I say that bartenders in general and hospitality in general is a notch above many other places.
Oh, it absolutely is. Do you think, though, that for some reason like, there's a hurdle because it's like Scottsdale sometimes? Like, we go, our friend David, who used to work at one of the locations here like that, was like so friendly. And I don't know if like maybe sometimes you're not supposed to like engage that much. Are you supposed to talk that much? I don't know if that's a thing or not because like you're in Scottsdale. No, because it makes such a huge difference. It took like 2 seconds for him to be like, how's it going? How you guys doing? Whatever. And like the one lady who worked with him remembered like about like a party that we both went to. And some other right. Like she remembered like everything. Yeah. I was like, how do you do that? Because we haven't seen her in like 8 months.
Yeah. There's the only thing I can say, there's a little bit of a different vibe between Phoenix and Scottsdale. But once you're in, you're in.
Okay. What were you going to say, Ryan?
Well, I was just thinking that, I think about, coming back to like the little things, right? When a bartender does approach you and say, hey, what do you like? Do you like vodka, tequila, whiskey? Okay, tell me a little bit about some of the ingredients you want. And then, they kind of create that craft cocktail. And then I don't even care. It could be a bartender says, hey, we had this great edamame. Let me just go get you a bowl real quick.
Right.
It could be the most basic food possible. But all of a sudden, they're just engaging. This is something that costs them nothing at this point in time. And all of a sudden, you're like, you know what? I'm coming back to this place.
And you know what?
This venue.
Phoenix, this Phoenix Scottsdale area, we kind of die down in the summer. And so this location relies on local business to keep them afloat during the summer. So anybody that makes me feel a little bit welcome, a little bit more special, will frequent these places in the summer. We know when we're not escaping the heat somewhere else. But if we're here...
That's a huge thing. We don't go, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but we don't go to Old Town Scottsdale in season. There's just too many people.
Right.
We'll go to dinner sometimes or whatever like that. But in the summer, that's when we go out.
That's when we venture out. Yeah.
We go to all the hotels and restaurants and we kind of around like that.
We'll even do a little staycation or something. Yeah. A lot of times. We've done it.
In December.
We've done it in the summer.
We're working.
Sometimes. Yeah. Before pandemic.
I see. Got it. Well, we have and talked your ears off, everybody, but we're so excited about.
This was fun, though.
This
was really
fun. Thank you for having me, guys.
No,
God.
You
really
mimic the energy of Caesars. I mean,
to a T.
Yeah,
we're hanging out more. We're just going to be Brett.
Deal.
But I really appreciate you taking the time. The entire city is abuzz with excitement about the property, so we're really, really excited about this. And we'll have this air actually, before that, so you can kind of tell everybody about it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's a lot of fun. And we'll have you back because we're actually going to start doing panels come the new year where we're going to actually have a hotel person and maybe a rental or another planner or something like that. Production.
A circus dog, something.
Production.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm nervous to have production on though.
Don't do it. I know. Don't do it. Do what you know.
Who's going to be your in-house production?
We're going to have AV Concepts.
Nice. Okay, groovy. Okay. That's a good choice.
Feather.
That's a whole other. Well, that's a whole other
I love it.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
That's another conversation for sure. And Ryan knows why. But no, thank you for coming on, and thank you everybody for coming and listening. As always, we love to have you join Twigger Time Podcast. You can catch us anywhere that you catch podcasts on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Music. iTunes. I don't know which one it is now. All of them. And you can join us and listen to. And if you'd like that, then please share it and ask your friends to listen because we were here every Tuesday. Randy, as always, it was a pleasure.
It always is. Thank you. And we had a delightful conversation today. I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so much.
Yeah,
oh my God. Anytime I can come for some champagne, just let me know. I'll be back here.
Anytime you see me anywhere, I'll have it.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great day and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks.